Hello, how's everybody doing today? This is Clint, the audio guy. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you the AKG K702 headphones. I ordered these for myself, so I did some research myself, and I purchased these for my personal use. So you can say I already did the research and decided to make the purchase. And I thought you'd like to find out from somebody who's really into audio just what these are all about. The first thing you'll notice when you take them out of the box is that, of course, they look kind of nice. Mainly plastic construction. Nice leather headband. Look like they're going to hold together, though. You don't want to beat the heck out of them, but they look pretty sturdy. They adjust to your head right away. You put them on. They're really comfortable. Put them on to make a nice seal around your ear. The headband self-adjusts with these elastic straps on the side. Feels really comfortable right away. I know they're gonna feel good on your head. More on that later, though. Nice cushy velour ear pads here. Really big drivers. This is a 62 ohm headphone, so not ridiculously difficult to drive, but they're also not. They also like a lot of current, so they tend to like more than some headphones. So you really kind of want to try to stick with a separate standalone amplifier like I have here. Today, what I used for my review of these, three things. Headphone output out of the stereo, a Bellari HA540 tube headphone amp. This one just came out, it's pretty new. It's about $300. Then also for solid state, I used the Burson Audio HA160. This one is about $700, closer to a reference class piece, but solid state. That's one that a lot of people specifically said worked really well with the AKG 702s, so that's why I picked that one up. At sources, I'm using a music hall CD player here, and I'm also using an iPod with an LOD, line output device, or line out device. Just plugs into the iPod so it can bypass the internal headphone amp, and then you get a nice cleaner line out into the headphone amp. That the Bellari has provision for that, the Burson does not. So you can plug an 1/8 inch cable right into the HA540. You could do that with the Burson straight into an RCA jack. You would just have to buy a different line output device, one that terminates into RCAs. But it would work just the same. Okay, I also want to mention they have a 1/4 inch plug, gold-plated plug, so it doesn't oxidize. You unscrew it. Underneath you have your 1/8 inch stereo plug, so you can plug it into anything from an iPod to a professional stereo headphone amplifier. Okay, as far as my listening impressions go of these, just so you know, before I started and did any critical listening, I got about 150 hours of burn-in before I did any listening. So I had quite a bit of time on these, played it back at a decent level, so they were nice and broken in. Some people say you need up to 1,000 hours of break-in on a pair of headphones, or these specifically. But in my opinion, if you need 1,000 hours of break-in, the product just wasn't made right. So I'm listening after 150 to about 200 hours. So they're ready to go. First off, they sound great. Put them on my head. I was, from all the other reviews I heard, they didn't have as much bass as some headphones. They thought they might be a little weak in that area. They're actually quite good. Unlike some of the other ones I reviewed, these ones actually have substantial bass, nice full sound. Perfectly happy with the bass response that they have. Now, The other thing that these are great at really is the treble detail, mid-range clarity. From what I can tell, maybe upper mid-range, they have just a little boost in, which just gives a great clarity to vocals, especially female vocals, which I like to listen to. Listening just today, I was comparing with Diana Krall, Girl in the Other Room, the Temptation song. There's a nice little interlude in the middle of that, as well as her vocals. And it sounds fantastic on these, no matter what amp they're plugged into, really. These will give you sound, and not horrible sound. If you don't have the budget for these and an amp just yet, you can plug them into a CD player, let's say, that has headphone output, or a preamp that has a nice strong headphone output. And they're going to sound good. I mean, they'll sound good. They're not going to sound the best they possibly can, but they're still going to be very nice. Computer sound card, you may need a bit more power than that. But they'll certainly open up once you get into something like a standalone headphone amp like the two I have here. So that's something, if you're buying these, you'd really want to put in the budget or plan on getting down the road. By the way, these are the 702s, the same model, essentially, of the AKG 701s. The only difference being the color. These are darker instead of the AKG 701s being white. And then they come with a detachable cable right here. You push the little button, you can pull out the cable and swap it out. They actually sell these mainly for studio use, so they have the straight cable that comes with it, about an 8 or 10 foot cable, and then they have an option for a coiled cable, a real tightly coiled cable. So if you're working at a soundboard or something, you can keep your cable nice and short, and it's not going to get in the way, and you're not going to be running over it with your chair and that kind of thing. So that's really the only difference. Now, I actually had a chance to go to CEDIA this weekend. I got to listen to top-end headphones, Sennheiser's new flagship at $1,400. I listened to the Denon 7000s and 5000s, the ones with the wood backs, at $1,000 and I think $700. Now, the 702s from AKG go for quite a bit less than those, and you're really not giving up that much. I'll talk about those other ones later because I do think I need to buy them at some point. But you're right up there. You know, you get a little more bass response with the Denons. The wood in there gives it a nice warmth. The Sennheisers are just extremely highly resolving, but so are these. You know. You get quite a bit for your money here. Most people don't have $1,000 to invest in a pair of headphones, but these, I also like to mention, as in my other review, the AKG 700 Audio-Technicas. These are worlds better in my opinion. Better bass, better comfort. They seal around your ear. The construction seems a step up, so I like these quite a bit better. The cable they come with is a OFC copper cable, oxygen-free copper. It's 99.99% pure. That would be called 4N copper or 4 nines copper, because there's 4 nines. 99.99% pure. That's not the purest copper out there. There is 7N copper in the top of the line Denons. Still a great sounding cable. What's nice about it, it is detachable, and I've already seen other companies making replacement cords for it. So you can just, simple as just unplug, replug the new one in, and you're all set to go. So if you choose to get an aftermarket cable, it's easy to do. If you want to go balanced, I would suggest getting the 701s, because this is hard to wire up for balanced cable operation. If you're going for balanced cables though on your headphones, chances are you're not watching my review. You're one of the real headphone guys that are into it, or you might be watching for entertainment. So I thank you for that. Now on to what don't I like about the 702s, because I really do like the sound. This is my mainstay headphone for myself at home. I read some reviews before, and I heard people say that the headband got uncomfortable and painful after listening for a while because of these bumps on the bottom of the headphone. You can see them here. There's bumps in here in the leather headband. I put them on first thing. I'm like, oh, they're really comfortable. I have no idea what they're talking about. And then I started listening for longer periods of time. I listened for about 40 minutes and then realized, wow, why is my head really hot? And there's a kind of a painful pressing on my head right here and here, right towards the edges of the headband. And then, I realized what they were talking about. It does give you some hot spots. It's not so bad though. It's not a deal breaker for sure, because you can just shift the headband on your head. Shift it forward a little bit. Suddenly hot spot's gone. It's hitting a different spot on your head. If that gets a little uncomfortable, you just move it back. But as long as the pads are still on your ears, you can still sit and listen for a long time. I expect this to break in more. It's a little stiff because they are brand new, other than the burn-in time and a few hours of listening. So I'm willing to bet that this leather will soften up. You might even be able to put something on here to soften it up a little faster, like a what they call leather conditioner of some kind. So that's one drawback to them. The other being there's people that love these, and then there's some people that hate these. The people that hate them call them a little bit thin sounding, and I think some of them think it lacks dynamics. I would say thin sounding they're not the richest sounding headphone. They don't sound like an analog turntable in a wood floor room with big cozy couches sitting around. They're a little bit tipped towards analytical side. So they are good for mastering. I mean, that is what they're made for, mastering and studio use. So they're telling you exactly what's on the album. They don't romanticize it so much, but if what's on the album sounds good, then it's going to sound good through here. So very faithful reproduction of music, and I like that. That's usually what I go for. Anything that's accurate. So these are a great headphone. I don't think you can really beat them at their price right now. So, all right. I also want to mention I've seen some people saying, "Oh, these don't work with tube amps, solid state only." They actually sound very good, I think, with the Bellari HA540 tube amp. Quite inexpensive for an amplifier that can make these sound good. This piece goes for $299. I know it sounds expensive to a lot of people, but to the real head-fi guys, that's a bargain for sure. I mean, they buy tubes that cost that much. So it can sound good with tubes. It does sound also very good with the Burson HA160 solid state amp. Little more detail, little less warmth with the Burson. Both of them have good bass response, and both of them have plenty of power to power these. So. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I will have some more reviews up shortly. I'm going to be reviewing Sennheiser's HD555s as well as the two amplifiers here. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by.